course. Wake the dead.
Wake the dead! Wake the dead!
With Sean McCann.
Okay, I think we are recording. Okay, we are here. Welcome to Wake the Dead. We are joined by our good friend, Jaymee Jay. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited for this show tonight. It's a topic I really want to talk about, so thanks for having me on and giving me a platform because we have a really interesting show for people tonight.
Yeah, the title we've decided on is Baby Burlesk to BDSM, the fetishization of infantilization. I think that's poetic. That's really good.
Hard to say.
So you, I've been talking about, I've been talking about Lolita. I've been talking about Barbie dolls. I've been talking about Marilyn Monroe, and you're aware of this, and you came to me with this topic because something really stuck in your craw, right? Can you start with that? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was this little video. It came up on Telegram. It was like a little TikTok video of Lady Gaga's Abracadabra song, and they had like a little 4-year-old girl basically dressed in latex like a dominatrix, and it was just a breaking point for me. Like, I'm like, I don't know how far people can be pushed where something's not cute, but like it's like they've really just like, I don't know how anybody can think that's cute. I think that's what triggered me the most about it, is that I know people are watching it thinking it's cute, and I'm like, this is not cute. And then we were kind of going back and comparing it to when people thought Shirley Temple was cute, but knowing everything we know now, you can go back and look at these videos and they're just absolutely horrendous. Like, I don't know how anybody ever thought that was cute, but people did, So you look at that now and it's like the dark, satanic, sadistic version of it, and people still think it's cute. So that's kind of why we want to talk about it today.
Yeah. It's not cute. No. Yeah. So like the male gaze or whatever, it's not only to young women, it's to children. Right. And that's basically what we're talking about. And the mentality of the people looking and the people being looked at. And so that's kind of what we're talking about today.
Yeah. And it's not just the fetishization of infantilization. It's hard to say that, but it's also the fetishization of the master-slave relationship. And then they're combining the pedophilia with the S&M and the BDSM. And it's like, I did a whole show on it with Chantel on Aquarius Rising Africa about BDSM and how they're kind of like normalizing that in general to the public. But then this Lady Gaga video is like combining it with the pedophilia. So it's like pedophilia BDSM, which is, we know that the end of the perversion continuum is actual snuff films of the innocent babies, and it's pedosadism is the end of the road. I don't think there's anything worse than that I've heard of, but I think that's the end of the line. So like this is just them kind of getting that end of the line into the public vernacular and kind of starting to just introduce it, again, using the Overton window, just kind of letting it out a little bit. But we know this stuff's really happening for real. So I don't know if you want to.
Right. You and I know it's really happening for real, but other people think it's cute. Right. So
yeah, and that's how they get this stuff introduced, right? Is just making it seem harmless or like funny or cute, right? But it's like that's kind of how it gets accepted without resistance, is to bring it out in such a way, right?
Right. So here we got the share here. I'm going to see if I can make the video play the audio.
The category is Dance All Night.
Yeah, the leather and latex stuff, that's just one. I mean, so like the lady in red, that's the whore, that's a scarlet whore. Lady Babylon, right? Mystery Babylon. You know, these kids are black and these kids are white, and then the red, and then the kids dancing with the little strings and stuff. It's like the maypole, you know, that whole fertility shit. Yeah.
Ribbon
Wow.
programming. Yeah. Yeah, and also something I noticed is well, that was obviously like a huge like you know how the Moonies do those giant weddings? That was like basically a bride of Satan ceremony with a whole bunch of little brides of Satan. And like if you look at the way their little dresses were stitched together, they were using those little metal hooks that you use for tensor bandages to hook them on.
Really?
And so it's like they've been fractured, like they've probably been put through some form of satanic ritual abuse and then put together with like a tensor bandage, right? Like they're going to be reformed now and ready to marry Satan. Like it's really so dark what we just witnessed. And, you know,
Abracadabra.
yeah, and that I mean that was obviously made for pedophiles to enjoy, right? Like that was basically just putting it in your face. Like that's not for other little kids to enjoy. That's for, you know, who's watching that and loving that little voice and the little girls dancing, right? Like it's like them in submission, all in unison, all dancing, like you know what I mean? It's very much like a presentation for Satan. Like that's what it is.
Right.
I'm saying like we prepared all these little girls, they're all gonna dance for you in like a form of worship, all in unison. Like it's not their will,
Like
it's like
ballet.
they've been programmed. They're all gonna act as one.
Right. Right. Like their bodies are fully under the control of the dance director, the programmer, whatever. Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That was
go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say I'm drinking kombucha, even though it looks like a beer because it comes in a beer.
Feel free to get drunk.
And it's called brew. I'm just a disclaimer. I'm not drinking on the air, but
yeah, well,
yeah,
I might smoke a
that
joint.
video
It's
actually,
okay.
sorry, I'm actually kind of vibrating with anger right now watching it because I hadn't seen the whole thing. And yeah, it was that was just like absolutely, you know, and because of what I know about the music industry and the like even about Lady Gaga stuff, like I think they put public stuff out like this, and then I think real stuff did happen before and after this video. And then, you know, like I just pray for that little girl's soul and all those little girls, like whoever they are and wherever they are,
Right.
like knowing what actually is happening to them for real. And then they kind of put out the public version. And I think they do that in movies too. Like I think there's certain movies where they actually do really kill people on the air and people think it's just acting, but like it's part of the ritual is for you to watch it. And, you know, I mean, even for those little girls to be able to dance like that, like, I mean, I've taken dance lessons. It's not easy. Like those little girls, you know, and we all know about like the ballet and stuff and how much MK Ultra goes on at the ballet schools. And you know what I mean? So like for those little girls even to do that, like perform that, like they went through a lot to be able to do that.
Right. So little children in a like Hollywood level production for pedophiles to look at and get hard, right? That's okay. So moving on with that segue, let's move on to this other thing here. This is Shirley Temple. So this is from the Lolita Riddle, which is a documentary about Nabokov, the writer of Lolita, and it investigates the pedophilic themes. And this is actually the documentary where I first learned that Nabokov's uncle abused him, and he was a dandy or whatever. It was like had rich clothes and stuff, and I looked it up. Yep, yeah, it's like so I believe that like it's in all of Nabokov's writings. It's like every one of his books. And but anyway, so Lolita was directly influenced by Shirley Temple and her movies. And so this portion of the documentary describes the what was used by Nabokov that he lifted basically from Shirley Temple. So here, let me share this. Let me get the audio going.
Nabokov's multi-layered interrogation of the pedophile's secret underworld extended to the movies. Anticipating queries raised by more recent critics such as Marion Sinclair, the author detected unsavory currents beneath Hollywood's glittering surface. With Lolita, he took special delight in mocking suspect scenes found in Shirley Temple films. The iconic child star, Shirley Temple, was born on April 23, 1928. For 4 years during the Great Depression, this talented little girl remained America's #1 box office attraction. Shirley began her long film career at age 3, when she starred in an all-child cast Baby Burlesk series, produced and directed by Jack Hayes and Charles Lamont. Lamont is widely credited with being Shirley's discoverer. During the 1930s, the Baby Burlesk short films screened regularly before the main feature. Commonly interpreted as innocent, fun-filled spoofs on leading actresses of the stage and cinema, the Baby Burlesk films are in fact replete with disturbing slapstick jokes and sly innuendos. As the leading lady, Shirley Temple frequently played a prostitute or nightclub performer. In Glad Rags to Riches, she was La Belle Diaperina, a dancer at the Lullaby Lobster Palace. Her beau, Elmer, fails to impress when he chomps down hard on an enormous pickle. In War Babies, Pipsqueak Shirley played the diaper-clad harlot Gloria. The toddler soldiers, hanging around Pete's Buttermilk Cafe, compete for her attention by presenting her with enormous lollipops. Titillating side entertainment is provided by the tap-dancing African-American boy who performs a slow striptease down to his underwear. Down on all fours, another toddler sits open-mouthed beneath an overturned baby bottle. A large sign in the background states, "Sour milk." When things go awry, Gloria comes to the rescue by pulling a rubber glove from her purse and attaching it to a keg of sweet milk. As the youngster suckles away, a man can be heard moaning rather than mooing on the accompanying soundtrack. Shirley's prostitute status is ultimately confirmed when a patron triumphantly picks his teeth with a bobby pin that held up her diapers. Shirley again played a call girl in Politics in Washington. Hired by the nipple and anti-castor oil lobby, she sets out to corrupt a new bumpkin senator. When Senator Clodbuster succumbs to her wily charms, Polly confirms her sex-for-hire status by stating,
I'm expensive.
Clodbuster's fall from grace sees him go down on a giant cake, bizarrely spewing white icing behind him like a lawnmower. In the last Baby Burlesk film, Kid in Africa, Shirley played the cannibal civilizing Christian missionary Madame Cradlebait. Attired in hot pants and a white safari hat, the pistol-wielding madam journeys through the jungle accompanied by an obedient troop of African coolies. During a raid, she is captured and stuck in a cliché cooking pot. After seasoning her with salt, the cannibal chief asks the telephone operator to connect him to extension 342. After Madame Cradlebait is rescued by a miniature Tarzan, the action abruptly shifts to an eerie post-honeymoon scene outside the Squaldorf Hotel. An African child carrying a Weary Nipple Cafe Specials billboard tanks up at the Last Chance filling station by sucking on the end of a gas pump. The mouthfuls he swallows are conveniently monitored on the gulp meter standing nearby. In case you missed it, here's a longer close-up of the pump's nozzle. Nabokov directly linked Kid in Africa's subliminal pedophile code to Lolita via a strategy of reiterated themes and numerology. At the Enchanted Hunters Hotel, Humbert and his nymphette bunk down in room 342. Throughout the night, Humbert's sleep is disturbed by the sound of a flushing toilet, a tainted reminder of the ever-popular honeymoon trip to the Niagara Falls. After Lolita escapes with Quilty, Humbert searches 342 hotels and motels in a vain attempt to track down his elusive nymphette. Nabokov also parodied Charles Lamont's 1934 short film Managed Money. Stowaway Shirley sets off with her teenage brother Sonny through a cactus-infested Californian desert. En route, they are bewitched by a luxurious mansion that turns out to be a Fata Morgana, or optical illusion. When they stop to prospect for gold, Shirley backs into a prickly pear. A man suddenly pops out from behind a saguaro and starts laughing. In Lolita's lampooning retake, Humbert dreams of spinning on to California, to the Mexican border, to mythical bays, saguaro deserts, Fata Morganas. Shirley may have left her career as a child prostitute behind after she was signed up by 20th Century Fox in 1934, but the suspicious scenes did not disappear altogether. Cast as an orphan, motherless child or runaway, the plot lines of Shirley's feature films now revolved around children's institutions and custody battles. Some guardians displayed an odd talent for meeting untimely ends. In Bright Eyes, Shirley's mother is run over by a speeding vehicle as she crosses the road to catch a bus. Her stern governess meets an equally grisly end in Poor Little Rich Girl. The coincidental car accident theme was ridiculed in Lolita when Charlotte Hayes is run over on the way to posting a letter that would expose Humbert's perverse interest in her daughter. In Bright Eyes, Shirley dances coquettishly down the aisle under the too appreciative gaze of her aviator pals. Brandishing huge lollipops, the all-male crew proceed to maul Shirley. They pick her up, shove a box of Cracker Jacks under one arm, and press her face into an oversized cake that leaves traces of white icing around her mouth. In a mocking reenactment, Humbert complains of catching Little Limp Low dripping a look in the direction of a friendly mechanic and bursting into a perfect love song of wisecracks as soon as he turns his back to buy a lollipop. Shirley often comforts her male co-stars in a too adult fashion. Sometimes she fiddles flirtatiously with their ties. Shades of incest creep into Poor Little Rich Girl, as Shirley lies cradled in her father's arms, stroking his face and singing. Incest seems a safer option than being stalked by a creepy child predator who tries to lure her with peppermint candy. In Rebecca's Sunnybrook Farm, Shirley loses her voice and is examined by a doctor behind a locked door without an accompanying adult. Depraved choreography is seen in Captain January, where Shirley has a close encounter with her dancing co-star, Buddy Ebsen. The gratuitous slapstick gags continued. Some of Shirley's studio portraits also present her in a distinctly inappropriate manner. Further signs of a covert pedophilic agenda are discernible in Curly Top, where millionaire benefactor Edward Morgan is utterly bewitched by his orphan ward. Crooning is also new to me. He eagerly anticipates the new thrills on offer in my wonderland. Morgan dreams of an utterly naked cherubic Shirley gilded in gold paint. Although this scene was either cut or censored, in her autobiography, Shirley recalled fearing death by toxic asphyxiation as she plunged a mythical dart into Morgan's heart. Morgan's hallucinations continue as all the paintings in his study are suddenly haunted by Shirley's image. In Lolita, the piano scene is comically revisited when Quilty stops to sing a few hysterical sonorities accompanied by soundtrack snorts as Humbert chases him around Pavor Mansion. Why, we may ask, is Shirley's dress shorter at the back than the front as she pirouettes on top of the grand piano? And what exactly was the purpose of the scene where Shirley creeps into Morgan's bedroom, then jiggles up and down on his stomach? At least Denmark had the sense to ban curly top for unspecified corruption upon its release. Curly top makes use of the telltale spider code. This theme emerges after Morgan buys a hula dress and ukulele for his tiny ward, and we see Shirley dancing in a grass skirt. A short while later, Shirley is lying on the beach reading a comic strip. The camera zooms in on a cartoon where a man yells, "There's a big spider in your skirt," to a woman in a hula dress. A voyeuristic close-up of Shirley's buttocks ensues as she rocks back and forth on a seahorse in a swimsuit that is conveniently too small for her. Nabokov parodied this scene by having Lolita swipe the comics from Humbert before flopping down on her belly to read on the piazza. This time it is Humbert who rocks back and forth, as the girl's smell at once set my manhood astir. Despite her enormous popularity, Shirley Temple did have some critics in the 1930s. American film critic Gilbert Seldes compared Shirley to Mae West, the reigning sex goddess, and recommended her directors face a firing squad at daybreak. Seldes thought Shirley's dimpled cuteness had very little to do with her real power, because at her good moments, something like a growl of satisfaction arises from the men in the audience. Across the Atlantic, British writer Graham Greene similarly argued that Shirley attracted male audiences for all the wrong reasons. In his review of Captain January, Greene queried the director's motivations, asserting the camera was being used in a salacious manner to provoke disreputable enjoyment. In his 1937 review of Wee Willie Winkie, published by Night and Day magazine, Greene again went on the attack, insisting, "Infancy with her is a disguise. Her appeal is more secret and more adult. Her neat and well-developed rump twisted in the tap dance, her eyes had a sidelong, searching coquetry." This time, 20th Century Fox retaliated, winning substantial damages from Greene for implying it had procured Miss Temple for immoral purposes. Nearly 2 decades later, Graham Greene was an early reader and fan of Lolita. He must have appreciated the novel's little recognized critique of the Hollywood Shirley Temple industry. In his review, Greene praised Lolita as one of the best books published in 1955. His comments sparked a heated debate over morality in censorship that eventually culminated in Lolita hitting number 1 on the bestsellers list in the UK and America. Shirley Temple's legacy lingers on in her movies, books, dolls, figurines, and other collectibles. Questions about the motivations of her Hollywood directors are rarely raised. Nabokov very aptly summed up these anxieties when he had Humbert parade past Lolita in my adult disguise, a great big handsome hunk of movieland manhood.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that, just the time difference of when Shirley Temple came out. And I think, it's so obvious now what we're looking at. I think before a lot of this stuff was exposed about, before culture was exposed to there's different forms of satanic and dissociation, which even read Alice in Wonderland books, it's written a way to tell you, like, little girls will go into their imagination, like the Masons have always known how to do this. So yeah, it's interesting to see them, how arrogant they were even before the actual.
Totally. Yeah. And like, even now, I was just watching a Larry King interview with her, and she's talking about writing her book and her memoir. And she seems like she doesn't even notice that she was, like, even now, or well, and
Did you research the history of Shirley Temple? Because I think there's a lot there, like who her husband was, and stuff. I think he was involved in some secret societies, and so who knows if she's a complete.
He was the first slave. One was like a military dude that married her when she was 17, and he was super alcoholic and would cheat on her, and that, like, I mean, that's all I know, pretty much. But
Yeah, I mean, I think
military
I think
dudes.
it'd be pretty safe to say like she's completely mind controlled slave. Like I don't think she just because like we always, on your show, like you're interviewing people who get their memories and stuff, but that's actually not the norm. Like a lot of people are used in programs and have no idea and don't think anything happened. And again, that's why they don't notice anything when it's happening to their kids or their grandkids because they're dissociative. They've never actually brought it to their conscious awareness, processed it, accepted it. And so that's actually part of the perpetuation of not seeing it. And, so when you see these older women, like that just completely haven't ever faced the reality, like I think that happens a lot. I think it's that's the norm. And I think it's actually more rare for people to wake up somewhere in between that and become non-dissociative.
Right. Or at least recognize their dissociativeness. You know what I mean? Like how it's tough to become non-dissociative, I guess. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so Shirley Temple was like a little Marilyn Monroe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Marilyn Monroe acted like Shirley Temple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that a little bit.
So they inverted it both ways, and that's kind of what we wanted to cover on the show today, is that they're basically, they want adults to act like little kids, and then they want little kids to act like adults. And so it's fetishized both ways. And so you see like these Playboy bunnies or, Marilyn Monroe, like just acting like a really ditzy little girl, giggly, cute, like, wouldn't actually be like your equal as an adult having a conversation. It's like you're just there for entertainment, completely overly sexualized. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so it's like
girl.
So somebody like Marilyn Monroe is like the closest they could get to that pedophilic fantasy in somebody of age, right? Is to make them seem really kind of babyish. And I mean, we've seen that there's a million Marilyn Monroes since Marilyn Monroe, right? Like she was just this first prototype of that male fantasy of the Stepford wife, you know what I mean, with a programmable brain, over sexualized little girl that could be totally mentally manipulated by somebody smarter. Is basically what the fetish actually is, right?
Right. Yeah, because it's about domination, not really as much about sex at that point. It's about dominating and owning and controlling.
Yeah, and that was kind of the cute version of it. And like now, I was on my other show, like talking about like how they're making this satanic, everything's a transactional power and control exchange of, master slave relationship. And like, that's all sex is, that's all every relationship is, like master owner slave, order taking, order following, like you have a boss at work, you have like it's this whole normalizing this in every single way. So of course they're going to combine it with the pedophilia into this S&M stuff, because that's the satanic system is a hierarchy of master slaves. It's about power and control. That's what they want to normalize.
And it's natural that the child thing is going to be part of that master slave, because a child is a natural slave, right? Because it's small.
Yeah, and a lot of parents have that relationship with their child. Like you're a good boy if you comply with the parent. Like that's what makes you good or bad, is compliance with your master, which is the person that's bigger than you, that controls your resources, right? So that's mirrored all through society now, and they're just trying to normalize that. And if you look at the people that are into BDSM stuff, like it is reenacting like childhood trauma, like spanking, or you know what I mean, like it's all kind of age regressed reenactment from that kind of stuff. And then now, like I can't even keep up with the sexual perversion. Like I used to think I was pretty on top of all of it sociologically, but it just keeps growing to the point where I actually can't even like keep track of all this stuff anymore, because it's just endless variations on it, like with furries and all this stuff. But like, we were talking about the fetishization of people wanting to be babies, and that, but in a sexualized way. Like it's not just, the feeling of being swaddled or cuddled, because of course anybody could like that, right? But it's like a sexualized version of it, where people are, paying these women that specialize in providing this service. And I think you mentioned before, Sean, that like the ones who are going to actually say like they will actually use hypnosis to age regress you. Like you actually will be a baby during this thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, I shared
yeah.
with you here. Let me see if I can find that. Keep talking, but I shared with you this.
Well, I keep seeing these weird things. Like I went to it was a restaurant. It was like one of the worst places I've ever been. I couldn't even believe it when we went in there. There was a picture on the wall, like kind of the baby burlesque stuff. Like there was a kid smoking a cigarette, and then they had some rap video they were playing where like this little kid was drinking cough syrup, and then there was like an adult lady, and she was like twerking in front of him, and he thought it was funny, and like. They're playing this in a restaurant, like a public restaurant. I think it was like, you know, you had to be of age to be in there, but like, I just was so horrified that this even existed and that it would be played somewhere like where people are eating in public. Like it's so crazy to me, this kind of like, you know, or you see now with like, you know, people bringing the kids to the strip clubs and thinking it's cute. And you know what I mean? Like the little Desmond the Amazing going to the strip clubs and doing his little, you know, dances and people thinking it's cute. Like they had him on, was it Saturday or sorry, what's the talk show? Saturday morning breakfast show or, you know, one of those shows.
Today or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, like a daytime television show. They have this little drag kid coming out doing, you know, provocative striptease and like all these people are just clapping like it's so cute. And it's like, this is
was it Lactatia? Was the kid's named Lactatia?
No, that I know that. No, I think that was the one who was hanging out
poor
with
kid.
Desmond. But it's just this whole normalization of like people thinking stuff is cute. It's like
gross.
Is it? You know, like it's like if somebody tells them it's cute, then they're like, oh, okay, it's cute. That's how programmable people are. Like they can show you something that you don't even have your own discernment to say, I know what I'm looking at is not right. Like the one guy who stood up against Shirley Temple because he actually could use his own mind to say, like, I see what you guys are doing here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so the abracadabra is the occultation of it. I mean, people don't notice because it's so cute, right? I mean, it's they cover over with that veil. But really, that's what Baby Burlesk was doing, right? I mean, Baby Burlesk had, oh, it's cute, but then they got a little baby sucking on a freaking dong. I mean, it's like, it's gross. And then they got like the moo sound, like a groaning dude. Like, what the fuck, man? So, I mean, what did Kathy say? I'm sorry, you were talking.
She was talking about how they would use comedy and like the comedy circuits to normalize stuff too, because people, they go to a comedy show expecting to laugh. And when you laugh, you actually go into an altered state of consciousness. Like you relax and you laugh and you kind of go unconscious for a minute. And so whatever they're saying, and like, you'll see sometimes, like if you put on a comedy show on Netflix or something, they'll be making like little pedophile jokes about like little girls' frilly underwear and like, you know what I mean? And people laugh, but then they, in the middle of laughing, they're like, wait, is this funny? Like, why am I laughing? It's kind of creepy. Like, but they're already laughing. So they're almost kind of already consenting to it and they're subconscious by laughing at it. And anyways, Kathy O'Brien did mention that like they use comedy, you know, to normalize this kind of stuff. And honestly, like I've watched some of the shows just on Netflix and like they're always making like pedophile jokes now. They're just to make people, you know, especially like just to diffuse the charge off it, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of weird, creepy adult cartoons that have that type of shit in there. And you know, so
animation is dark.
And these well, yeah. But these, you know, those like adult comedy cartoons are played in a room full of a bunch of kids that are high and all sitting around. And then it makes these very uncomfortable situations, you know, and then they have to laugh and look around and like, oh, yeah, you know, it's odd that that TV's putting people in those situations on purpose. You know what I mean? And Netflix, oh my God, it is built.
That's bad.
is built for that. Like, oh, it's supposed to be on while you're like banging and knocking, but like the fucking Netflix and chill shit. Like now, every time I'm watching a
It's
movie,
bad.
it's like in the first 20 minutes or so, there, if you're just listening, it's just all sex, like grunts and like, oh, give me that,
Yeah.
and
Really graphic. Like there's
yeah,
no censorship. They show everything now.
yeah,
Like
that too.
I don't think there is censorship
Yeah, and
anymore.
especially with cuties. I don't know if you want to bring that one up, but
Yeah, I
fucking
didn't watch that, but I
Netflix.
know I've heard about it.
Obviously, I did not
Yeah.
either. No,
I think they see, this is what David Icke talks about, the totalitarian tiptoe or the
Yeah.
Overton window. It's like the same thing where they see like how much they can kind of push it. And then if there's a little kickback, they back up a little bit. Like Cutie's got some people kind of cross the line and they back up, but they've already planted the seed. They've already normalized it. So next time when the next Cuties comes out, it's not going to get that big of a reaction because it's already happened already. So they don't
many
care either
more,
way.
dude. Like
Yeah.
I'm like flipping through to see like kids stuff. I'm there with my son, and okay, I'm gonna try to find something good here. And it offers up like little teenage mermaids or some shit. I don't know what the title was, but it was like 9-year-old, 10-year, maybe 11 as mermaids with like the bikini top, and they're on the beach, and like
Yeah.
that's
And
that's
who's
the
really
cover.
watching that, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
dude. What the
like who's really watching that? It's old dudes, right? Same with all these teen influencers. Like their number one fan base is middle-aged men.
right?
It's not
And
other little teens
Netflix is
watching
getting all
mermaids.
them clicks and getting all those
Yep.
people paying the $7 a month, dude. It's a different
Yeah.
kind of prostitution, and that movie, as I was scrolling through, there wasn't just one, there was like 3 or 4 of this, like, oh, like baby bikini mermaids 1 through 5, like it's what the I mean, and it's just like
Even
under
some of
the
the bathing
radar.
suits, like I was going to the pool for a while and there's these little girls and they're wearing these like little bikinis that have like the wire in for an adult female's breasts to have support, but like it's totally unnecessary in like a little girl's bathing suit, but they're making the bathing suits look really like something an adult would wear. And again, like I don't know, like I just get more angry at the parents. Like I'm like, why would you put your daughter in that and take her to the public pool and put her on display? And maybe you are unconscious or you think it's cute, but like it's like it's not
Right.
it's not like
Yeah. And then the kid is getting weird attention from the adults, and they think that's good. And then they like, who knows where it goes, you know what I mean? Like, okay.
You know what I noticed that off Netflix? I've been watching it lately, and okay, first of all, like no matter what show you watch, I think it has to be a gay sex scene, and like it doesn't matter if it's a home reno show. It's got to be you're going to the gay guy's house to do home. Like I don't think you can get a show on Netflix unless it's to normalize being gay. But not just that. In all the heterosexual scenes, the female is the aggressor. Is something I actually just noticed this week. So, okay, so there's 2 things. So, number 1, like the girl always looks at the guy. She gives him one look and decides she likes this guy. And so they lean in for a kiss. They barely kiss and then they rip their clothes off and there's immediate penetration with like no foreplay, no going bases, no incrementalism. It's just like there's no in between. It's 0 to 60. Like I kind of like you. Let's fuck, right? Like that's basically how every show is normalizing. So think if
that's
you're like
90s
a teen, you
America,
that, right? You're just it's like you're not even supposed to like do anything except for like immediately just rip your clothes off and have like full sex right away. And I noticed that on every single show. And then the female is always really like aggressive and is like telling the guy to shut up and take his clothes off, whatever, right? Which is fine, right? But it's just that they're doing it all the time. Like it's always the role reversal and then always the female's on top, which is the dominant position, and the guy's just laying
Lilith.
there. And I've noticed it in like multiple shows. Like I'm like, no, they're like really pushing this exact scenario where it's like the girl is the assertive, aggressive, dominating one, and the man just does what he's told, and it's all up to the girl. And like, so they're really pushing that too. So like, even though it's still heterosexual, it's still, they're really flipping the masculine, feminine energies and normalizing it.
I recognize that in a recent film. I forget which one it was, but it was like a strong businesswoman going off to work, and dad's making her, or her husband's making her breakfast and like seeing her off to work. Bye-bye, hun. And he's like wearing the fucking apron, it's just like the 50s mom. It's the exact opposite of like 50s, oh my God. It's like, so yeah, it's I'm just glad that
this stuff all leads. So you have to understand what people have to understand what the end game is, because you can look back in hindsight and see how they're using all these things to socially engineer what they want society to be. And what the cabal wants society to be is people to be like either gay, pedophiles, asexual. Well, it actually ends in asexuality. Like this other stuff is just part of the part of where this is all going. It's not the end game. The end game is for people to be very, very immature, scared of the opposite sex, pedophiles, but like only using pornography because they don't actually want like any human connection. So like even the actual real pedophilia is still just another stop on the road to what the end game is. And so all of these things that they're offering now in the name of liberation and, like just accepting everything, it's like they want to make soup first and then strain it out into what they want, right? So they're kind of like depatterning everything by saying anything goes, anything's normal, inverting anything that would be like a natural thing. And then once it's all kind of undifferentiated, they can start siphoning it down into what they want. And so I always warn people with the pornography and stuff, it actually does age regress you. And that's why when people watch it, they think, oh, well, I'm not watching pedophile porn, but like it's the instant gratification. It's the lack of inability to be vulnerable. Like this is all stuff that age regresses you down, and you become more narcissistic by flipping through porn girls. And we all know that narcissism is a defense mechanism where there's an emotional, 5-year-old little child inside of somebody with a very fragile ego. And that's actually what all of this stuff is doing. And so if you look at these people that are control freaks, like, and want to be in positions of power, like, there's a strong connection with these cabal people being pedophiles, because it's like they do have a little inner child that expects to get whatever they want, whenever they want it, and not care about anybody else. Is very egocentric. And so the more they can promote narcissism in society and all of these really egocentric ways of being, they're actually inadvertently promoting pedophilia. And then even if people aren't looking for it, they're kind of always subtly offering it to you, even in these little ways, like the Lady Gaga video. Even though maybe you weren't looking for that, it's like their end game is that. And in the end, we know that pornography leads to like impotence and inability to connect with other humans. So that's what they really want, is this
same circumcision.
Yeah. And so the circumcision is connected to it as well, because a lot of the pornography is circumcised penises that are a lot of times being inserted anally now. And so it's programming people not only to activate their subconscious unprocessed rage at women, but also to promote the male type sex, right? So it's like, it's very subtle, but that it's all connected. And if you look at places like where they've done really successful social engineering, like some of the places in Japan where people like don't hold hands or anything anymore, they're just like little kids, and then they read Japanimation for their sexual, and this is more closer to the end goal than what people realize, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring up Japan. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, because like Shirley Temple influenced Lolita, and Lolita created a whole thing that became worldwide, and sex tourism was a big thing in Japan. And I mean, up until just recently, the legal age for sex was like 12 or something, I forget, but it was really low. and they just raised it. I don't know, not that far. It was only like to 16 maybe or some shit, but it's always been kind of just kind of overlooked and nobody. But now in Japan, they got this lolicon or like Lolita complex, they call it. And the women want to act like little girls, and they try to talk with little kid voices, and they get really skinny and small, and they dress like the Japanime, sex, whatever you call it, and that is what they're trying to do, and they even get plastic surgery on their lips and stuff and their face to like look like little, and it's very weird. And so Japan is way ahead. I don't know if it's because of that Barbie shit, like after, and maybe the industrialization over there, like.
Well, even Sailor Moon, right? Like it's that kind of stuff is, again, like I used to work at a library and I was like, oh, I'm just putting the books away in the preteen kids section, right? Like not thinking anything, oh, it's just little cartoons. And then I actually started flipping through one day, and I actually had to like tell the lady that worked in the library, I was like, do you know what's in these books? Because this is like, you're basically setting up a little porn stand for these kids to come sneak in the library and be like, oh, mom, I'm just going to the library. And they're going and looking at like some really graphic, stuff. And the thing about in Japan is the women there look at Japanimation of two little boys being gay together in a picture, but it's females that look at it. It's like a thing. So
wow,
I don't know.
I've never heard of that. It's sick, weird. What the?
Yeah, it's really weird because it's not like they're into little boys as females. Like I don't know. They've just really done a whole number on programming.
Yeah,
thing.
Dude. Wow, Japan is fucking whacked, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And Japan was in Lolita. She was coming down with the Asiatic flu, and like she had a poster of Japan on her bedroom wall, and like she said that Quilty had an Oriental genius.
Sorry, is this lolicon stuff just in Japan, or is this like a thing all over? I've never heard of it.
It's big in Japan. Here, I'll look it up on Wiki. Here, 1 second.
Okay.
It's big in Japan.
So
here.
This is what I mean. I think I know everything, but it just keeps growing. Like, unless I seriously was looking at it every day because they just come out with it just keeps evolving. Like,
here, 1 second. Lolita Complex. I'll look it up.
And so they have conventions of this, like
yeah, it's basically here.
And just a bunch of old dudes come to this, and it's like heaven for them. Like,
no, there's sex tourism, like Japan, like people will be in, they'll here we go, Lolicon. See that here? Oh wait, the fans don't see it here.
Oh, you know what? The other thing that almost makes me want to go berserk is that oh my gosh, why am I blanking out on her name? Miley Cyrus video with the baby. That was another one that really, really pissed me off. When she's dancing, when she's like rolling around in her diaper in the crib and saying,
"Oh right,
like F me to stop me talking" or something, and it's like it's just so gross. That was like another one that I just couldn't believe they actually put that out, and that people are like letting their daughters go to Miley Cyrus concerts and thinking it's cute.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. I get really mad at the parents personally. That's why I hate these like beauty pageants, like when the dad's sitting there and the mom's just like a psycho being like, get on stage and put your heels on, and like the dad's just like no authority, no protection. He's just totally letting his wife be a psycho, take the daughter out, and like it's just I don't know.
Watching too much porn. He's like
sitting there and letting it all happen. I'm like, no, you should be like grabbing your kid and like you need to be taking control here. But it all goes together, right? It's the emasculating of the alpha male, of the men, of the male role, of the male leadership, and that just seems like the Netflix stuff of the female on top. Like, it doesn't seem as, dark as it really is. But then you look how once all these roles get inverted, like how it gets acted out in society, right? Like, it all supports this end goal agenda.
Right.
What am I looking at?
This is Lolicon Fan Dujinshi being sold.
Well, I've read quite a few books, and they actually do traffic children at the comic book things. That's the way they've always done it, because they can also launder the money by saying it's a collector item. So you paid $4,000 for a comic book, and they know what kind of people are coming there, and that there'll just be kids there, and it won't be a red flag. So a lot of people are actually trafficked at comic book conventions. I've read it in multiple books.
Wow. Well, this is a comic book convention that you're looking at, and the images
look
are
at this. Like this is
pretty sick.
It's really violent too. Like, it's not even cute. It's like, look, like the little girl's got little tears in the corner of her eyes, and you know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah. And it's a lot of it is like, there's some like pretty violent manga.
Yeah.
Like this.
And so this is all projection, right? Like, when they show the little girls, like, as like, what did they call Shirley Temple? The cradle
cradle bait.
It was really bad.
Cradle
bait or the diapers or anyways.
Dude.
So with narcissists, there's always projection, right, of their disowned parts. And so another reason why narcissism and pedophilia go together is because they're projecting that seductiveness, or the little girl being like them. It's projection. And so when they're painting all these pictures of, the little sluts in their diapers, like, that is like all illusion. Like, a little girl doesn't have the ability to have that part of an adult woman's brain or anything. Like, you can read or talk to anybody that's been abused or sex trafficked. Like, there was nothing sexual about it to them at all. It was just completely weird and creepy. And like, they don't have the parts, like, in their spirit developed
think like
to
that.
Be anywhere close to what's happening for the adult. Is completely parallel universes. But they're always trying to normalize that, like, kids are sexual. And this goes back to like the Kinsey research, right? Like, how they're trying to like pretend something's there that's not, because then they can say that there was some type of consent from the child, right? When it's like, it's actually not even possible.
Right. But Kinsey says that we're sexual since birth. So he was sexualizing children.
Yeah, and that's why when they
surprised it took this long to talk about him. I'm glad you brought him up, dude. Well, go ahead.
Well, when they say born this way, there's like, when people say they're born gay and stuff, it's like, well, I'm not saying that people don't feel that they are that way and that they were always that way, but it's the hidden meaning in that when they say born that way, they're saying you were born like wanting to perform fellatio on another man. Like, no, you weren't. Even if you end up being gay when you're older, you weren't born that way. You developed into that. But to say you're born that way, so then people think, oh yeah, they're born that way. So they're just, this is like, again, it's that subtle part of the subconscious mind that is consenting by agreeing that a statement like that is true, right? So that's why we always got to be careful with this kind of language.
John, just like with John Euler's work, he's the progression starts like when he would interview or talk to these violators of, women and children. They would always say that they started, being attracted to adult females, or adult bodies, right, of the opposite sex, and whatever, adult bodies, right? Who knows what they were doing, but then it regressed to the barely legal porn.
Well, people want what they can't have, right? And that's why they're always promoting indulgence and instant gratification, because there's not, you're going to go darker because there's nothing left that gives you a thrill, and you're just going to feel more dead inside. Like the more, if this is just like an esoteric principle, right? Like if you have discipline and withhold from something, you enjoy it more when you have it. Like even if you fast for a few days and then eat a meal or whatever it is, like if you have restraint and self-control, and you know what I mean? And there's lots of research that people who watch a lot of porn or even look at a million naked women are not as happy with their wife. Like, so it's like, you're actually just making yourself unable to enjoy the partner you have by going and looking at everything else on the menu. Whereas if you like, could you imagine being in the 1800s and like you never saw anybody naked until your wedding night? Like how exciting that would be. Like you could, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been like mind blowing to see a pair of breasts like after 25 years. Like it'd be like, oh, right. But nobody has that anymore. So like everybody has to keep trying to go further and further to just because they feel dead, right? Because they've overindulged to the point where they feel dead. And psychopaths feel dead because they don't have a conscience and they think they can just take out the conscience and not take out the good stuff. But they actually feel flatline dead with everything, so they have to do crude things even just to get a charge. And that's why porn has to become violent and stuff, right? Because it's that reptilian brain. It's got to pump it up somehow because that part of like just the sex is burnt out, right? So
you turn into
I think
Aleister
with
Crowley
the
in the
pedophilia,
Abbey
it's like,
so you turn into
even
Aleister
that's
Crowley
not
in the Abbey of Thelema, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to work with the delay.
Even that's not enough, and then it has to be snuff, right? And then
right.
Snuff's not even enough. Like, it's like, what is, now they have to bring it back to life and kill it again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even, nothing's ever enough. You know what I mean? And people it's the law of the forbidden. Like it says it right in the Satanic Bible that like, it's the law of the forbidden. Like they were even saying you should wear a wedding ring because it's going to make guys want to hit on you more just because it's like, they're not supposed to, right? Because there's this little thing in humans where we get a little charge from doing something we're not supposed to. Like it actually creates a little energetic charge of going against what we know we should do. And so humans are always tempted to do that. And so the people that want to control you are going to keep offering you a buffet of that because that's how you're going to become really weak as a person.
Right. And they want
Sorry, what were you saying about Crowley?
Just because like the level of what he was doing in the Abbey of Thelema, in that basement in Sheffield or whatever, where there's like these murals in the like these devil paintings and a child died. Like there, I mean, people went insane. They were doing some really sick on like mescaline, like fucking opium and hashish and all that. They were going nuts, and and his like the depravity levels, like he would just do the most depraved thing on purpose. Like that's what I was trying to say. So
yeah, just to see what the charge was like. And I've studied serial killers a lot, right? And it's like, this is how it works. You know what I mean? Like they start fantasizing and then they keep progressing, right? Because it's more of a high. They want to take it a little further and a little further. And that's why it's really scary when people are like, oh, it's okay to get a fake blow up baby off Amazon that has a fitting of a hole in its mouth. It's okay. That way you can just reenact that without harming a kid. And it's like, no, take it from me. It's not okay, because the more you indulge in the fantasy, the more you're going to want to do it in real life. And there's lots of forensic research on this. Like playing with the fantasy doesn't actually fill the need to not go and do it in real life. It actually makes it worse to want to go do it in real life. And that's why when people are like, oh, I just want to watch some porn to save my marriage, I just want to see something spicy on the side or whatever. It's like, no, as soon as you start indulging in that fantasy, you are going to want to go do it. And so it's better to like never start playing with that stuff, because it's going to put you in a weakened position than you were before you were going and playing with it. But they always lie to you. They're like, oh no, just it actually doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the stepwise progression into the
And like, I swear, you guys, if you go down Amazon, there's some nasty stuff on there, and like out of curiosity, like because the algorithm will keep bringing it up, the AI. Like some of the stuff they have there for, I don't even know what to call it, sexual perversion supply, like full latex suits of the opposite gender. Like I'm sure they have a baby suit on there. Like they have everything. It's just so, you almost want to look like, what is this? Like, that you even had to know that stuff existed, but it's like, this is on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, Amazon, of course it would be on Amazon. Of course, that, you know, they'll serve anything to anybody, you know,
they have the little
grease
dolls
the government.
that look like those little girls, you know, they probably come with like, they'll cry or something. And, you know, they probably have a little AI voice that'll cry when you're raping it. Like it's that bad.
So you're talking about a life-size doll of a child that has a mouth hole and a vag hole and an A hole.
Yeah.
For
and
servicing.
they have AI in those dolls now, right?
You're getting kind of.
What else were we going to talk about?
You're getting kind of computerized.
John Ramsey.
I just spoke with Julia from Cosmic Peach about John Benet Ramsey. With William Ramsey, we did a swapcast interviewing her, and she's got a bunch of information. You should talk to her. She's great. But John Benet Ramsey, I wanted to talk to her because that was much like the Helena being, you know, Helena who was kidnapped at Christmas and that whole thing. And, you know, with the Marilyn Monroe stuff, I already talked to Julie about that. And so it kind of all connected. And that's another reason why it was good to talk to you about this today. And so you were mentioning the sick. So wait, before we get there, so you're talking about how the porn AI will age regress you, but there's this other stuff that's on YouTube. So here, let me share. 1 second here. Okay, you see that? It says, your girlfriend and her best friend diaper you. It's an audio thing. It's really weird. Here.
See, this is like, men can't understand how this is mocking them, like because there's this whole thing of the man baby now, right, where men are just like can't actually be men anymore, and like they're just promoting that and normalizing it, like to just don't grow up, be a man baby, you know, get a diaper, get a soother, you know, sit in your safe space, you know, your mom, you know, do what you want. It's like they're just this whole man baby thing. And like even the Legion of Men and stuff, right? Like they're trying to like act like it's, you know, this like the feminist movement for women, but it's like they're really promoting like this infantilism still, like of just don't, you know, if you want to play video games all day, play video games all day. You know what I mean? That makes you a man because nobody told you can't. And if they're not really promoting like men to be myself men, they're really promoting the man baby, you know. And so this stuff, you know, I just don't know how much more obvious it can get, right? Like
it's funny because when you're a real man, you do things for others and not for you, you know, like you grow up to like
exactly.
You pay for things and you like help people and you know, fix stuff and like, you know, like so that it, I don't know, whatever. So okay, let's see if this audio is working. Let's see. This is just so silly and weird. Okay, all right, here.
Ad Part 3 by A.B. Fantasies.
Are you ready to play?
Did you hear that? Okay, are you ready to play? Here we go.
What does it say? It almost looks like the Saturn symbol on that box. It's supposed to say little changes.
Yeah, the bathroom is just upstairs on the right, okay? I'll be in the kitchen. Oh, hey babe, you're home. I wasn't sure if you were here. I was just out at the bar with my...
So this is audio for you to look at this picture, the AI generated booby women, like two like a blonde one and a brunette one, and they got diapers. This is for the listeners that can't see. There's like two pretty AI cartoon women with big old boobs, and they're both sitting on a carpet, like, you know, in front of a fire or some shit. Oh, YouTube just errored and not streaming. Okay, but anyway, I'm still recording. So like the that's fucking funny. They just dropped it on that. Anyway, so yeah, this is audio that people listen to, and then they look at this AI generated picture of two ladies on the floor on a blanket or whatever with diapers and wet wipes, and they're both looking at you like with big childlike big eyes, you know, how and they're both like smiling like, hey, they're like kind of squeezing their boobs between their arms, you know. Okay. Yeah. And it's computer generated just from that. So I wonder if the whole thing is computer generated and what is it doing? And like when I found this, it was trying to give me more of them. Like, okay, back to normal. We're back to excellent. Okay, it's still streaming again. So I don't know. It's probably because I pushed play for a couple seconds. But anyway, so like, but YouTube is back. That's what I was saying. Sorry, guys. But anyway, this is intended for masturbation. It's obvious. And then like when we listen, it's like the audio of your girlfriend, and she's talking about how, oh, I just went to her sister or some shit wants to see me in diapers. I'll skip through a little bit here. We'll go in the middle. Okay.
Diaper. It's true. I do. Purely educational. Seriously, honey, you already got naked and pooped in a frickin' diaper in front of a total stranger at the clinic. This is nothing compared to that. I still can't believe that. Honestly, at the time, it just seemed absolutely normal. This woman...
Absolutely normal. Pooping in front of strangers, dude. What the fuck, dude? Yeah. So that's just a little piece of it, and we didn't lose stream on that, so that's good. So
yeah, I think we got the it's. But you know what?
What do you have to say about that?
There's people who want to act like that in everyday life, and then there's these people that are just as bad that go and adopt these people because they're saying they had a traumatic childhood and they want to be remothered, and like so there's people that actually go adopt these adult men and like play like I don't know if I could find it again, but there was one guy that had actually convinced this family to adopt him and like treat him like a kid all the time. He slept in a crib. He had everything.
Did he pay a bunch of money?
The thing is, but the thing is he had kids. Like he left his family and kids to go and do this. Like as if that's not the most narcissistic, selfish. Like if you want to do that yourself, you have free will. But like to leave your family and feel entitled to go and like he was probably so jealous of his kids when they were born. He was like, I gotta go do this myself.
I can't.
Another thing I want to talk about, Sean, that I'm so glad you brought up the AI stuff because this is taking this stuff to another level, right? So with the deep fakes and stuff now, and there's this like virtual porn, which is made from images of children, and then they can make it into pornographic stuff without actually it being real kids. And so again, these sickos are like, well, if it's like, you know, no animals were hurt in the making of this film. You know what I mean? Like, so they're like,
right.
They're like,
so
no
they don't
real
go
kids.
to jail.
So again, they're acting like it's normal just to partake in it when it's not. Like I said, do some research on serial killers. Like, do not put your consciousness on that and think it's not changing who you are. Like you're not doing that and then being a normal person in real life. Like you can't keep that in a compartment. You're basically downloading filth into your soul. It's not just like something to fantasize about, but the virtual porn is really dangerous. Like, and this is not a conspiracy. Like, there was actually lobbyist groups trying to get laws passed, and so, you know, and also with this age regressing thing, they normalize it in a lot of different ways. And I mentioned off the air the movie Benjamin Button, where it was about a guy that aged in reverse, but he had met this woman, you know, and they were together when they were the same age, and then they separated and she's normally and he age regressed, And they like came back and saw her again at a certain point a few times because they were in love this whole time. But at some point, like I think she was like in her 50s and he was like, 13-ish. But, but because it was him and she always knew him, they're kind of showing it in a movie like, well, it would be okay because, they were together when he was the other age. And you know what I mean? And then you think of that movie Big with Tom Hanks, right? Where it was like the little person in the big body. Yeah. So you see how these really innocent movies, like we all got taken to see that at the theater when we were kids and thought it was cute and fun, right? But they're saying like the age doesn't match. And some of these people now coming out of these MK Ultra programs are like talking about being age regressed and putting back in different bodies and stuff. And I'm like, that can be dangerous too, because it's like what they're saying is that your actual age is not the same age as your physical body, or like that you can be different. And so, when are they going to say, oh, well, I identify as a child and therefore like I'm not a pedophile. Like I'm just what are they called? Adult babies or what?
Adult baby diaper lovers.
Yeah. So if you went
ADBL.
charged at court and get charged and you say, well, I feel like I'm 5 inside, right? This is the kind of stuff that is really serious. You know what I mean? That it seems not harmful at the level it's at. But again, when we look at that end game of what these people want, of course, they're going to promote that kind of stuff, because then that's going to lead to them being able to project adult quality onto a kid, like them consenting and them being sexual. And then the opposite way of projection of them being an infant. So again, they're just blurring that line. So there is no line.
And the AI thing, they can make infinite amounts. It's just, you can just click a button and it just goes.
And remember Tom Hanks had that tiara, Toddlers and Tiaras or whatever.
Yeah, the SNL
that was really creepy too, right? And so,
right.
Tom Hanks growing up, he seemed like the nicest guy in Hollywood. You never heard stories about him drunk driving, or he always seemed like the wholesome one.
So was Bill Cosby.
Like it's
right.
Yeah, it's like the most wholesome ones that don't even swear,
Right.
That always end up being the creepiest ones,
And talk about the opposite one. Well, yeah. Also, people should look into how Tom Hanks shared a photo on his Instagram of a glove on the ground, like a hand. So what do you do with your hand, right? And then it said SLC something. And that was it was a link to Yandex child porn. Straight up. If you type that into the computer, it'll bring up Yandex.
Was that
child
off the
porn.
Mouthy Buddha documentary?
I think it was. Yeah, I think that's where I learned about that.
I can't remember what it was called. It was made by Mouthy Buddha, but he showed all the ways that they embed images. There was another thing I should have told you before the show, but I found it online. I don't even know if I could find it again. It was called computer file, but it was spelled PHILE, like computer file.
Right.
But spelled like pedophile.
Yeah.
And even though there was nothing abnormal on this site, I actually just landed upon it when I was doing research for Mark Passio's tech course. Like I was researching tech stuff. And I thought something's off about this. Like, why would it be called computer file spelled like pedophile? And then I looked at what this person was teaching, and it was all the ways that pedophiles can use technology. Like, so they will do something like embed an image, like see in the background, Sean, how you have those pictures. Yeah. They would embed a child explicit photo, like in that photo where you'd have to zoom in like 1,000,000 times to see it. And they all know this. Like they have all these certain ways of like embedding images. Like it's all techniques that these people use for online, doing pornography stuff. And this guy was like, had a YouTube channel just sharing this tech, but he wasn't saying that's what it's for. But it's like, if you read between the lines, that's what it is. And that one Mouthy Buddha documentary really showed how once your mind's tuned in to what to look for, it's in your face. You know what I mean? Right. It's like going back and watching these Shirley temples. Like it's like so in your face now.
Yeah.
Nobody could see it back then.
Or the ones that could were the ones that shouldn't be looking, like the ones that could see it are the ones that have that inside, that want to see that.
So
And-
another thing just to bring up, like I can't, oh my God, I seriously can't stand those little baby beauty pageants. Like I just can't handle I just can't handle the adults all sitting there together thinking it's normal. Like it's one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen is those.
yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh, so now with the technology, the mothers just have little influencers and they have like, oh, this is just my daughter playing Barbie in her room. And they're doing it all from home, right? And like these mothers are basically pimping their kids out online and it seems really innocent.
Right.
But then you look at some of the more psycho mothers, like there was one documentary on Netflix that I can't remember the name of it, but the mother was like sending the little girl's underwear and stuff to people. And then they started looking at who's actually watching these shows. And like it's not other little kids watching other little kids like unwrap presents.
Yeah, and they'll like put in the
comment, like middle-aged men.
Right, and they'll put in the comment a timestamp when like they can see like under the skirt or some shit, and like they'll all share that timestamp. And the John Bonet we talked about with Julia William Ramsey, and I talked with her about how the you popped out. Oh, there you are. Okay, you're back again. I think it's okay. Okay, we talked about how the pageant is like a sale, you know? And then when you look at Bryce Taylor, she was dressed up like with feathers and shit, just like a showgirl. And, you know, she was put on display and sold, you know what I mean, at like an auction, basically. And that could be, in my view, I mean, a child pageant could be that. To everybody else, it's a normal pageant.
100% it is.
Right.
And I think there's different levels of it. Like, I think there's like just child trafficking, but then there's like another extra level where they know the children are programmed and dissociative and trained, and they're bringing them there to display them. It's like the same as, you know, people think a strip club is like just the girls dancing on stage, but like that's just the advertisement for the girls who are making the real money, like in the back rooms, right? Like, you know what I mean? And so it's the same with these beauty pageants. It's like, yeah, there's, I'm sure, a couple innocent parents there that are like just weird, but like, you know, the ones who know what they're doing are absolutely, like I said, like I've read a lot of books of people that have been trafficked, and, you know, some of them at the comic book conventions, but also these other, they travel, right? These beauty pageants travel. Like the mothers go in the hotels with their daughters and they have to go to these certain places. And like, and so it's a really easy cover for the trafficking. Right. And yeah, I think it's really, really common. I think Bob Hope bought Bryce Taylor, selected her from the little pageant.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, of course, you know, that's the kind of, he likes the feathery girls or the showgirls and stuff, you know, like, of course.
I can't even watch that stuff. It just looks so creepy to me. Like even how they put the fake teeth in the little girls and the, like, I can't, like that, those two things, just my brain is like, it's like a thing in the Matrix where I'm like, no, like I can't watch that. Like, you know what I mean? Even at the pool, like a little girl wearing like a push-up bikini with a little girl's body, it's like, that doesn't look okay. That there's two things that just don't go together being put together. You know what I mean? And I
had trouble watching that Shirley Temple clip. You know, like the tight bathing suit, I was like, oh, just, you know, like it's really tough to watch. Like, it's cute. It's cute.
Well, you know what? Now that my eyes are tuned to it, it's everywhere. Right. Like you can go, and actually I used to work in like a halfway house with guys that got out of jail, and they would say like, always watch for like Sears magazines, or, you know, like, I don't know what they have in the States, like the shopping center,
right?
Big Eaton's, whatever. I don't know what they have in the States.
Whatever, yeah.
JCPenney, yeah. They would say always watch for those kind of catalogs laying around, because a lot of the guys, like that's what they would use, is like the little kids' clothes section and stuff. And it, like if anybody ever finds that in their room, they say, oh, I was just shopping for sweaters at JCPenney or whatever, right? So, but actually, if you start to, there used to be this website. I don't think it's around anymore. And it was called like unintentional porn or something. And they would show, you know how in advertising, they're always using sexual innuendo, even if it's just a round object and a phallic looking object or a 1 and a 0. But like, if you really, I don't know, I'm probably so like, I don't think I can unsee or not know what I know.
You've
so
been
I'm
studying
sure I don't see the
too
world
much.
the same way as other people anymore. But like, I see it everywhere. I see it like when you're going to a mall or something and all the pictures of kids, like they have on sorts and stuff. It's actually always kind of there if you look for it. There's always weird innuendos all the time in the most innocent looking things.
Yeah, I can't look at Spielberg the same. You know,
yeah, or like even the
movies
diaper commercials, like why do they need to do that? It's obviously triggering pedophiles, right? Like it's like, I don't think anybody that has a child needs to see a commercial of little baby bums crawling around. Like we all like know what
like
a baby
that
looks
copper
like.
tone.
If you have your own
like,
baby,
yeah.
why do they need to put that on the TV? Like I don't know. It's even that I think is weird. I've never appreciated those commercials. Like I don't think it's necessary to sell diapers. You know, like I don't.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Someone else who uses little baby face to sell to make money is Bonnie Blue. She uses AI to wear a underage face. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'm so disturbed by. I've been talking about Bonnie Blue in all my podcasts.
I'm sorry, I told you about her.
I'm so traumatized by what you told me.
Rough.
I didn't know about it, but it's really bad, and it just keeps getting worse. And yeah, so now with like even Snapchat and stuff, right? Like people can put this little cute like
kid face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So she puts on a kid face and then does sex acts on camera and says, I'm an adult. I can't get in trouble. Pay money. And so she's getting money from all the pedos out there. I don't know how long that lasted, but I saw that on a documentary. I saw them scrolling, looking. It's
it's like
really
I feel
sick.
like there's this class of
That's
women
what AI
that
can
have just
do.
accepted it. And, you know, like you look at like the extreme example would be somebody like Hillary Clinton, who was like, before she was even in politics, she was working as a lawyer getting pedophiles off in jail, like, and laughing about it, right? So, you know, there's a certain class of women that are like, this is just the way it is. And they can get in power positions by colluding with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you see this even in the porn stars, like, you know, a lot of them are acting like little girls and, you know.
Yeah. Now there's a new thing where the porn girls do a face that looks like the cartoon Japanime. They act like they're orgasming and they do a stupid face where they cross their eyes and stick out their tongue like Kali or some shit. Like who would do that? Like that's the stupidest O face,
well,
but it's
you know what?
It comes from the Lolicon, the Lolita comics, and now the real porn actresses are told to do that. Well,
people really don't understand sexuality. Like a lot of people think there's no agency in sexuality, but like if you look at the fact that anything can be fetishized, right? Like somebody can have a fetish for anything, paper, anything. It doesn't matter. There's some dude out there with a fetish for it. And that's because the way the mind works is classical conditioning. It's a paired stimulus and response. Like programming sexuality is one of the easiest things to do ever because you're in an altered state of consciousness when you're aroused. Like you're literally programmable. And so people get imprinted as soon as they have any type of hormone and things get associated in their mind and then it has a sexual charge to it. It's like when I would say out of all MK Ultra, sexuality is one of the easiest things they can just program in. And I think people need to stop being so arrogant and think I'm in control. I'm just going to go put myself in an altered state of consciousness and participate in something and then completely compartmentalize it, act like I didn't just put an actual cassette tape in my head and program in what I just put in there that doesn't go away. That's why when people have fantasies, they can pull up a screenshot of something they've watched before because it actually is in their soul now as a file. And so people think they can just go and do all these things and it doesn't count because it's just in the fantasy realm. But they actually are, like, you can see by something like that, right? Where these men have grammed 2 cartoons. And now it's the simulacra, right? Where people prefer the fake thing to the real thing because there's a safety in not ever having the true intimacy of the real thing. And so it's safer. Like there's even women that got plastic surgery to look like blow up dolls, right? Or like men aren't even attracted to a real breast that's a teardrop shape anymore because it doesn't look like an implant. Like, and this stuff is all programmed, you guys. It's all programmed.
Dude, they mutilate.
It's so easy to program sexuality. Like, I just think people are just playing with fire. Like, and I'm not trying to be a crude or shame anybody. Like, I'm just like, you guys need to understand what the end game is and who the people making the porn and running these pageants and making the Japanimation, like, they are a group with an agenda that they want to social engineer a social structure that has a certain type of relationship structure in it, which is a master-slave relationship where you are the infant. So anything that you're programming yourself with to make you more infantile is leading to you being enslaved. And that's exactly what it's meant to do. And only your own arrogance in thinking that you're going to be in control of it and that you're just going to play with it is like what's going to end you up being like this dude looking on this AI thing at his sister and her friend wanting to change his diaper.
Right.
Yeah. But that guy, the guy who watches this probably goes to work in an office and thinks nobody's picking up on that energy. He thinks he's fooling everybody. He thinks he just goes home and does this on his spare time and that he's actually, it's not who he really is. And then he can go out in the world and be a different person. And I think a lot of people at this point in history are starting to realize that's actually not true. And because of the frequency raising on the earth, like it's actually a little bit harder to be a liar now. Like people are able to pick up on energies now more than they used to be able to. And that's why they're promoting everybody just to be like high all the time and stressed out all the time because they don't, like, so much stuff is just so obvious now. And like when you put all this stuff into yourself and program yourself, like you literally have a different aura, you have a different energy. And like people might not even be able to verbalize it or intellectualize it. They just energetically can feel that energy off you. And it's becoming easier and easier to do that as we're all more connected. And like there is changes going on right now where like people are just aren't able to actually wear their mask as easy as they used to in history. It's like people can kind of pick up on the vibes now. And so, yeah, you're just fooling yourself if you think you're going to go do this stuff and nobody's actually going to pick up on it.
Oh, I can be a clomper. What do you mean?
What's a clomper? I don't even know what that is. What's a clomper?
Oh, a clomper is somebody who has a fetish for dressing up like a horse or a unicorn or some shit. Clompers.
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
look them up. Yeah, they go clomp, I guess. So
I think a lot of it's actually even darker MK Ultra. Like I think they actually took a whole bunch of kids out of school and daycares and even in assemblies at school and did a bunch of weird MK Ultra stuff. And I think they did it in a way where it's not so obvious, like the furry stuff and like people who want to be dogs or whatever. Like that doesn't come from the individual, especially because they're all the same age. It's like something happened to that cohort. Like they did a little test run to see if they could do something to people. And then like 20 years later, be like, oh, look, they all think this now. Like, I think that was, I think it's actually a lot darker. And then they create the porn for what they've already programmed the fetish in for. And so if you read books by people that have been through MK Ultra, they will do like weird S&M stuff on them as infants because they're creating a market for the S&M pornography that they'll watch or participate in as adults, right? And so it's all connected.
Right. Like the Balenciaga bear, BDSM bear.
Yeah, the bears too.
Thing.
Like that was like Jimmy Savile and stuff. like
Oh yeah, his TV show had
the Black
bear.
Eyed Bear, Panda Bears, like all of it, right? It's all.
Yeah. So babies have bears here. So let me share this here 1 second. Okay, so this adult baby diaper fetish. This is from on YouTube, Vice Guide to Sex. Vice, the owned by Bill Maher, the lefty weirdo. But Vice here, let me. The audio is playing. Okay, good. Here.
Imagine being in a headspace that you are so relaxed that every single care that you think about as an adult melts away. How's that?
ABDL stands for Adult Baby Diaper Lover.
That's a full diaper. You waited too long. What's wrong with you? Numb.
They actually have an identity that is a younger age than their chronological age.
A little girl should not have a potty mouth.
A little girl should not have a potty mouth.
It isn't necessarily overtly sexual, but it's a bonding experience.
You see an adult in a diaper, why do you think they're a pedophile?
People want what they had as a kid. It's very nostalgic.
There has been this whole economy that has sprung up to serve the community.
In addition to manufacturing adult diapers, I also wear them all the time.
Okay, so that's the opening.
I just can't believe they can't see how much they're being like literally mocked by people who hate them. They just can't.
It seems like it's more mocking than like this whole thing.
Yeah. And you know what's so evil about that baby powder is that was it Johnson & Johnson was like the generational satanic family, and they knew that talcum baby powder and the mineral oil and all the stuff they were promoting for babies, like with all the baby commercials and stuff, it was like making babies sick like forever, like, but they were like, oh, it's just every baby needs talcum powder and stuff, right? Which I'm pretty sure is banned now, but
I think
manufacturing that need for their product.
Yeah, like there is asbestos in talc. It's just like you can't have.
Yeah, and this family knew, like they were literally. It's almost like not the same as circumcision, but the same thing. Where like the parents do it to their own kid because they've been programmed to have this false need to like, oh, the baby needs baby powder. When like, how did babies live in nature without baby powder before the 1950s? Like it didn't even exist. Like, but they made it so it's every baby had to have it. Right? Like,
right. Yeah. And all the, anyway. So, okay. For the listeners, there was an image of a big breasted woman above the camera, dusting the camera with baby powder and then applying a diaper to the camera, and we were meant to imagine that was happening and how great it would be to just pee and poop in a diaper. I can't. Oh,
yeah. Well, that girl probably makes a lot of money.
Yeah, she probably does, and it's really sick. So that let me just skip through it. I don't know if
we should start just see how many followers we could get. Is we should just start like Legion of Man Babies and just see if we get like a legion of dudes in diapers like marching. Stomping, having a temper tantrum.
They got the
videos every week. How to have a temper tantrum at work,
dude. So the woman. A lot of followers. They already do have people doing their temper tantrums on TikTok. Like they just do it and they post it. So anyway, the woman who does the diaper dusting, she also is. Age regressed also. Okay.
And it is sexual though. Like she's wearing a tight fitting dress. Like they're saying, oh, it's not sexual, but it is fetishized. Like, it is sexual. Like it's obviously sexual, but they're pretending it's not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they frame her boobs. Like, the dress.
Yeah, just like a pedophile would be like, oh, we're just playing a game. Like, you know what I mean? That they're almost doing the same thing in this.
Okay, here, wait.
Where they're like, it's not sexual.
Some want to just come and be babysat, just have a story read and have their diaper checked or changed. And then some people want to go much further into a sexual aspect of things. This is a good place to just make a little stand and reflect on what they were doing wrong. But if they need a serious punishment, we could take them to the spanking bench. You can tie someone down to it. It's perfect for squirmy littles who want to try and get away. And it's probably my favorite way of punishing. I think most people mix their ABDL with some other kink, whether it be bondage, medical play, vintage punishment. ABDL goes so well with so many different kinks that this all lends itself really well to what I do.
Anything else in there that you want to show us?
I mean, the castration stuff doesn't really go along with ABDL as much.
So she's explaining the dominatrix, but she also
she was kind of being a dominatrix. She was like shaming the guy and making him stand in the corner for having a potty mouth, and like, so it is like a form of S&M and domination.
It is totally that, yes.
Yeah.
So she gets paid for doing the dominatrix act, but she also says that she does the being a child. Here, let's listen.
I am ABDL. I was a little before I was any of the other things.
I think I need a change.
This is okay, and this is a tool that people use to not just work through traumas, but also to relax. And for some people, it's not about that at all. It's really just about being able to feel little and taken care of by someone. It's very therapeutic. You're so cute.
So she used the term little. Do you know that term? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So this is like what they call a small part inside of somebody that's been abused that's actually stuck in time at the age they were at the time they were abused. And so all people with dissociative identity disorder have littles, which is basically the times that the traumas happen. And so this actually really pisses me off to watch, because they're basically normalizing dysfunction. And actually, I will say this about like almost the entire counseling field now. Like they're normalizing like so much dysfunction. They're recommending that sexually abused people go and do BDSM for their therapeutic processing of trauma. They're normalizing like people having parts. They're normalizing like this kind of stuff. Like it's actually become so satanic and inverted, the whole counseling field. It's like counseling used to be to help people that were not functioning socially at work, in like socially functioning and able to like be an adult. They would go see a counselor because they're like, okay, you're not able to function. What's the problem, right? Is it from childhood stuff? Is it trauma? Like, and you would work through that stuff in order to be functioning in a way that's normal, right? And now, because they've made everything amoral and they've normalized everything, and there's no right and wrong, and there's actually, it's very solipsistic too, like where they're like, it's all client centered, where they're just like, well, how does it feel for you, or what do you think, or like it's whatever you want for yourself. Like there's no actual outside influence to say, well, maybe that's your problem, right? Like there's nothing that's a problem unless the client. So it's really been all twisted. And like when I watch stuff like this, where people are obviously reenacting like stuff and then saying that's therapeutic, and yeah, they're really promoting like BDSM in the counseling community, and it's like, this is just normalizing dysfunction. That's not healing trauma.
Right.
Normalizing trauma, pretending it's not trauma, doesn't heal it. And that's kind of what they're doing here, you know?
Yeah. So like they're normalizing dysfunction. Like you said in the beginning.
Right.
They want us to be dysfunctional. So, and then when we are dysfunctional.
And there's no objective.
There's
nothing objective. Like there's no objective morality. There's no objective normal. Everything is egocentric.
Right. And yeah, so the counselors are even like the broken people try to go to a counselor to get fixed, and then they're like, "You're okay. It's cool to dress up like a clomper or a fucking furry or a child or a there's you can grow up to be a glory hole, little guy or little girl,
I mean, it's really bad.
Oh, it's really bad. So it's pretty much a good way to sum it up. Here, I'll stop the share. That's all we need of that. Like, okay. So yeah, this pretty much overall, they're trying to make all of us infants so they can be the dominatrix over us.
Yeah, and they want us complicit. So they're giving us their mind and they want us to be like them. So they keep offering different ways to entice you to also be like they are, which is pedophiles, which is egocentric, narcissistic, control freaks in their reptilian brain. That's what they're wanting everyone in society to be. And like what Mark Passio taught about, like, they want to be able to do what they want without consequence. So there is no objective right and wrong or morality. It's if we are pedophiles, then like we should change the external world so that there's no kickback to us being who we are. And part of them doing that is get all of us involved in it. And that's why they're just making a buffet of a million different ways that you can be like them.
Abracadabra, right? They're saying their reality into existence. Oh, it's a pedophile world now. It's, it's okay. Remember when love wins and they friggin' put, like, I mean, you're in Canada, I guess it doesn't matter.
Oh, Sean, did I send you those pictures of the welfare daycare by my house? It's literally has a chain link. I'm going to send you the pictures. It has a chain link fence with gravel for the kids to play on. Like, it's like the total social housing, like, daycare where it's like free. Right? Like, but you're like, well, would I really? It's like dropping your kid off at the dog pound. Like, that's what it looks like. And then they had this artist come in and paint a giant rainbow donut that says "Love is all you need" on the outside of your free daycare in a rainbow donut.
Wow!
And I'm like,
so an asshole, basically. It's an asshole.
Like a rainbow gay,
but a donut is the hole. Like,
yes. And it's on the daycare and it says all you need is love. I'm like, this is what I have to walk past. And I'm like, how can nobody else see this?
And you know about the rainbow
some more pictures.
Programming and stuff, like, like.
Oh yeah, there's another mural right by my place. It has a person spinning a child. There's butterflies flying out of them. And then there's the shadows of old dudes watching. And this is on the side of a daycare.
Oh my!
And then there's another one, just a wall over. It's a little baby crawling in a diaper with also a butterfly, and it says "coming soon."
Oh,
like double meaning.
Yeah, right.
And this is
like
people just don't.
It's like
see
Planet,
it.
like Comet Pizza. It's like come, and it's like got a splatter of white. Like Comet with a splatter of goo. Like what? Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the baby clothes are really bad too, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna say it's love. You know what I mean? It's not.
That's the thing.
It's hate.
Like love can have any age is the new shit. Like they're. Yeah. And next it'll be animals, and then the furries will be like, oh, we like to fuck as animals, and I'm an animal, and let's fuck animals, and then
yeah,
and then it'll be cannibalism.
That's what they're doing.
Right. So yeah, we'll talk about the animals and the cannibalism in another show, I guess. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you needed to talk about?
No, I just really wanted to say something about that Lady Gaga video because that just really disturbed me. Like, even just watching it again, I got really upset because it's like, where is people's line? Like what could be worse than that? Like, that was a little girl wearing a latex red bra, like with spikes, and it's like, how bad does it need to be before people say enough? And that's why I see those dudes at the little girl pageants, like just literally watching their daughters go out on the stage, and you know what I mean? And it's like I see that video coming out, and it's basically mocking because of the stuff that has been exposed about the pedophile rings and the Satanists. And like most people have at least a base level knowledge that this is an issue right now. Like even people that aren't researching, they realize there's something up with the pedophiles trying to take over. And so for somebody like Lady Gaga to come out and just blatantly in your face, like put that video out, and for people to still like go see her concert or let their kids go see their concert, like it's just you already are under mind control if you can watch that video and not get triggered. You're literally already spiritually dead if you can watch that video, and that's okay with you. So I'm just thank you for having me on to just say something about that, because it's been really pissing me off, that video. Like, so thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And it's a pleasure to have you. And my listeners love to hear your voice. And so you always have very interesting things to say. And today has been very interesting. So thank you for that. And is there anything that you are working on, or we can find you with Cat Waters on her show, and we can also find you with Africa Rising. Like, you've been doing some shows. Is there any way
I'm
that
on
we
quite a
can
few
find?
shows. If you just Google Jaymee Jay, sometimes if you put SRA after, it'll show up more shows. But yeah, I'm on a lot of shows. I've actually been doing a ton of podcasts lately. So if people want to look up my other shows, I was kind of bringing some attention to the BDSM stuff in general. It's just all connected. So yeah, if people want to hear more of what I have to say, they can just Google Jaymee Jay, and
that's good.
That's
great. But you'll find some other stuff on Wake the Dead. There's other Jaymee Jays there too. So click around. And thank you again, Jaymee, for joining us. And thank you, listeners, for joining us again. We will see you next time on Wake the Dead.